pinag-uusapan saan ang gagaling yung system loss. Sa generation lang naman, tsaka sa transmission eh. If you do not recognize that, walang kukolektahin ng Meralco.
Sa aking alam po, may 12% na pinapataw na value-added tax, VAT, sa systems loss. Narinig ko pong ERC na sinabi, ito'y hindi ginagamit, kumbaga sa isda na bilasa, wala po. Bakit po binibuwisan ng 12% ang hindi nagagamit na kuryente?
Kung ang pinag-uusapan po natin
Sumagot
dito,
ka muna, tama o hindi? Ba't tayo mo sumagot? Madam Chair, ba't hindi siya makasagot?
opo,
Okay.
doon sa example niyo po.
Okay, kaya kita tinatanong ng ganon. Sa kuryente, hindi sila may makakapamili. Wala kang ibang pupuntahan.
Yung system loss po, hindi ito bayad para sa kuryenteng hindi naman nagamit. Ito po ay bayad para dun sa gastos. Itong kuryente na ito na generate, dineliver through the transmission wire at nakarating sa distribution utility, pero because of the technical and non-technical losses that are allowed under 7832 to be recovered, sila ay hindi nakakasama doon sa kilowatt hours on which naiimposan nung kaukulang generation and transmission charges. So, kalintulad po ito, halimbawa, nagnenegosyo kayo, bumili kayo, nag-wholesale kayo, bumili kayo ng 1,000 isda, bangus, isang banyerang bangus. Ang gastos nyo ay 8 piso kada ulo ng bangus. Ang kabuang gastos nyo ay 8 pesos kada ulo ng bangus. Pero dito sa banyerang nakuha nyo, hindi naman lahat yan, hindi naman 1,000 bangus ang maibebenta nyo. Kaya halimbawa, 5% niyan ang hindi nyo talaga mabebenta dahil bilasana o sirana o maaring kinupit ng tindera nyo. Ito pong kabuang 1,000, halimbawa may 5% na nawawala or na hindi nyo na ibebenta, 950 lang talaga ang kabuuan na inyong nabebenta. Kung kayo ang magbebenta nito at gusto nyo balik puhunan lang yung 8,000 na inyong ginastos para do sa 1,000 na bangus na yan, magkano nyo ibebenta? Definitely hindi 8 yung original na per unit price. Isasama nyo dito yung spoilage, di ba? In manufacturing, kasama yan. Kaya kung ang maibebenta nyo lang kandidad ay 950, per unit cost niyan ay hindi 8, but 842. Yung 0.42 na yan po ang sumasalo doon sa gastos ng system loss. Ngayon, bakit hindi na lang distribution utility ang sasagot nito? Ang distribution utility po, hindi yan ang negosyo. Ang kanya pong negosyo ay yung maghatid ng kuryente sa pamamagitan ng mga linya na ipinapatayo niya. Ngayon, kaninong negosyo ito? Sa generation company. Kaya nga, ang distribution utility, pinapass through lang yan. So, dun po sa mga komento na dapat ay sagutin niya ng distribution utility, yes, merong portion yan ang ipinasasagot ng batas sa distribution utility. Kasi lumabis na doon sa itinakdang system loss cap, yung gastos na na-incur niya for its actual system losses. So, yan po ang nature ng system loss, kaya't mayroon tayong charge para mabawi yon, yung gastos na yon. Ang bumabawi ang distribution utility, pero ibinabayad din niya yan sa generation company at sa transmission company kasi nga po ito ay pass-through charges. So,
Chair,
yes po.
nakuha na natin ang ibig mo sabihin. Kahit na simplistic yung example mo, susundan kita ron eh. Ang example mo ay isang banyera ng bangus. Okay. So dahil sa merong loss doon, maaaring kinupit ng tindera o kaya biglang kahit na yung bangus ay hilado na pero lumundag pa rin, ano? Palagay mo lang ganun na nangyari. Ito yung mga factors na kaya kailangan makuha mo yung loss. Yun ang sinasabi mo. Okay. Sa mga tweet, yung banyera ng bangus na yon, kasama ng loss na yon, binenta mo sa supermarket A. Dahil siya na yung magdi-distribute. Tama? Yung generation, nasa sa'yo na, binenta mo sa supermarket A. Yung consumer ngayon, meron siyang option. Pupunta siya sa supermarket B o kaya C. Bakit kanya mas mataas yung bangus dito sa supermarket A? Pumunta siya sa B, medyo mura ng konti, ng 150 for example, or 1 peso, o kaya sa supermarket C, mas mura din. Doon siya bibili. Tama?
Ito pong system,
Teka muna, sagot ka muna. Siyempre, may option yung consumer. Nung makita niya, dahil binenta mo rito sa supermarket ganitong price, meron siyang option na mamili sa ibang supermarket. Tama?
kung ang pinag-uusapan po natin
Sumagot
dito,
ka muna. Tama o hindi? Ba't tayo mo sumagot?
tayo po kasi as captain.
Hindi, sasagot ka muna.
Opo.
Tinatanong lang, napakasimple. Pumunta siya sa supermarket, ito yung presyo. Pumunta sa B and C, ito yung presyo. Makakapamili siya, di ba? Madam Chair, ba't hindi siya makasagot?
Opo,
Okay.
doon sa example niyo po.
Okay, kaya kita tinatanong ng ganon. Sa kuryente, hindi siya may makakapamili. Wala kaming ibang pupuntahan. Isa lang ang supermarket. Tama o hindi?
Opo.
Sumagot ka. Yun ang problema eh. Huwag din yung gagamitin yung ibang perishable commodities. Pumunta ka sa isang supermarket, meron daga na kumakain sa mga produkto. It's a loss. Merong mga nagnanakaw doon. Nangyayari yun every day. It's a loss. Hindi lang mga outsiders. Maring yung sarili mong nagtatrabaho doon, nagbubulsa. So loss lahat ito eh. Yung supermarket, yung loss na yun, hindi niya ipapataw doon sa prevailing price ng kanilang produkto. Kasi yung consumer has the option to go to other outlets. In the case of electricity, Madam Chair, wala silang option eh. This is our problem. Kaya pinipilit ko kanina, and I thank you very much, Attorney Juan, nung sinabi mo, ay yung system loss, as you said, is an inherent operational characteristic. Inherent talaga to eh. Hindi mo mayaalis na mayroong mawawala. But this inherent operational loss is already admitted. It is known to all stakeholders bago kayo nagpasya na gumawa at mag-distribute ng kuryente. So it is a legitimate business risks that every industry should recognize. Ba't naman ang energy sector lang hindi nagre-recognize ng risks? Lahat ng industries have risks. Maski insurance company who cover for risks, meron din silang risk. Ito yung problema na madali naman nating intindihin. Madali naman nating gawa ng paraan. Di amend natin yung Republic Act 7832. Ganun lang kasimple yun eh. Let's remove the system laws. As simple as that. Isang maliit na amendment lang ang gagamitin mo doon. And one thing more, Madam Chair, tingnan mo na lang yung universal charge. Tama yung sinabi ng chairperson. Yung universal charge, nandun, in order for us to bankroll certain areas na kailangan lahat sila ma-electrify, lahat makakita ng liwanag. Tama naman yun. That's not the objective of the government. Pero naglalaban sila nung feed-in tariff and JAP. Kasi yung feed-in tariff is supposed to capitalize the government's program para sa ganun, mas marami tayong renewables. Kung marami tayong renewables na gagamitin sa lahat ng lugar ng ating bansa, di ba bababa yung universal charge? Kasi hindi naman, at some point in time, yung universal charge, bumababa hanggang sa eventually mawala na. If we succeed on the renewables. Ang problema, sinasabi lang natin, by 2030, ganyan eh. Puro forma. By 2030, parang 47 parang 40% yata, Madam Chair. Renewable na tayong lahat. By 2040, 50% ang renewable. Oh, Diyos ko. Eh, hindi naman tayo papunta dun eh. So, magano tayo, ito yung sabi ko nga po, ulitin ko, Madam Chair, Korte Suprema na po ang nagsabi. Any expense incurred by the distribution utility which did not inure to the benefit of the consumers is unjustified and inequitable. Which part of that sentence is not understood to everyone?
Madam Chair, gaya ng nasabi ko, yung distribution utility ay hindi engaged sa pagnenegosyo ng pag-generate ng kuryente.
Tama po,
Kaya
kaya
hindi
nga
yan
hindi niya dapat
nakasama doon sa
isingilin
kanyang
yun. Tanggalin na lang natin.
personal expenses.
Kaya hindi siya
Setting the rate
siningilin
po.
ng Meralco. Kasi kung wala na siya, hindi na recognize, hindi naman hiningil ang Meralco. We're not blaming anybody here. Ang pinag-uusapan, saan ang gagaling yung system loss? Sa generation lang naman, tsaka sa transmission eh. If you do not recognize that, walang kukolektahin ng Meralco. Problem solved. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Yes,
There, I thought you left when you
No.
said hi to me.
I was listening. Yes.
I recognize Senator Lauren
Thank you.
Legarda. Yes, you may
Yes,
take the floor.
Thank you, and I'm grateful to the chair for having so much in the agenda, including my two very important measures, which is clarifying the value-added tax treatment of socialized electricity subsidies. And since our expert in energy is right beside us, along with the chair, I would like to be clarified, Madam Chair, any competent authority, whether it's the NGOs, the private sector, or government, simpleng tanong po, yung hindi nagagamit na kuryente, bakit natin binubuwisan? Madam Chair, sa aking alam po, may 12% na pinapataw na value-added tax, VAT, sa systems loss. Narinig ko pong ERC na sinabi, ito'y hindi ginagamit, kumbaga sa isda na bilasa, wala po. Bakit po binibuwisan ng 12% ang hindi nagagamit na kuryente? Pangalawang tanong, kung ano man ang sagot po nyo, ay dapat sumasang-ayon ba kayong tanggalin ang VAT kaagad dyan? Huwag ng batas. Sa implementation lang yan ng ating mga batas na nandyan na, kumbaga kung nakasaad yan sa EPIRA. At dapat ang BIR makipag-ugnayan sa ERC para ito'y mapatupad. Kung sang-ayon po kayo. Kung mali po ako, then please correct me. Kayo po ang mga experts. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With the permission of Senator Legarda, can I give the floor back to Attorney Juan, who's in the middle of his
Yes.
presentation?
Yes.
And since he was raising his hand, I assume he's going to touch on it. Sorry, let me finish before you. Let's have an orderly discussion. These are very good points, but I want you to continue with your presentation. You may answer, but I do want us to get to DOF, that who I think is also the right person to answer your question. So after his presentation, which I believe will touch on your question, then we will go to the DOF. Again, para lang mabigyan ko ng time lahat ng nandito na makapagsalita din. Oo. Okay.
Maybe para lang, just a one-sentence answer.
Mm-mm.
Tama ba ako or hindi kasi ako eksperto, ay mali ako? Ganun lang po.
Mm-mm. Go ahead.
Sang-ayon ba kayo?
Attorney Juan.
Yes po, kaya po siya nasasama doon sa nabubuwisan ng VAT dahil sa side ng generation company na nag-generate nun, kasama yon doon sa kanyang sales at pumapasok yun sa kanyang gross receipts. Kasi pag lumabas at na-deliver niya yung kuryente sa distribution utility, kasama na yon sa kanyang kita. Kaya ito lang VAT on system loss dahil nga iniwalay natin yung cost na yan from the total generation charge, inilagay natin as system loss charge, yung VAT ay separately na i-impose dyan. But dun nga sa aming position, as we have communicated to the committee, we support all proposals, proposed measures para mapababa yung electricity rate. At kasama dito is redefining what should be the base for the VAT on electricity. At kung i-exclude natin yung cost associated with system loss from the gross receipts ng ating mga generation companies, transmission and distribution, malaking kabawasan na din po yan dahil around 5% din, 5 to 10% yung system loss na pinapataw. So that will be a reduction to that po.
I will make an illustration so that our government panel here can explain also to people. Kasi kahit ako, gusto ko na mas maliwanag. And this also is consistent with Senator Lawrence's question. So, pag-generate nung electricity, and that's X amount, no? Sabi mo ng 100, at yun may VAT yun. So paglabas nun, yung value na 100, magiging 112, di ba? At what point nagkakalos? Kasi nga, pag-generate nun, may VAT na yun paglabas eh. At what point na de-determine yung loss? Such that, where do you pinpoint na exclude natin yung loss? Dun yata may mga complications in the implementation of what appears to be so far the two government agencies that have spoken are in full support. But somebody has to explain to us kung paano nyo tatanggalin yun doon. Kasi pag generate nun, the moment it is generated, may nawala na ba doon? Wala pa, di ba? And nakakalculate ba, I mean, alam ba natin every time that the electricity is generated, how much ang percentage ng loss doon? Yan ba tansyahan or it's a very specific measure? So all of these things have to be answered. I don't want a specific answer now, but at some point when kasi ang hirap din naman sa mga kababayan natin, lahat tayo sasabihin natin we support. O paano natin gagawin? Yun, ang tanong.
Madam Chair, let me exemplify. Ganito po yung nangyayari. Kunwari, distribution utility X, palagay natin Meralco or any other electric cooperative. Meralco or any other electric cooperative buys from generation A. Kunwari 10 pesos po yung nabili niya, Attorney Juan. I will not commit the mistake again. Attorney Juan, hindi San Juan, okay? Eventually, Meralco or any other electric cooperative sells to consumers. Tama? Kasi binili niya, tapos bibenta niya. Nung i-account niya lahat yung kanyang sales, 8 pesos na lang ang kanyang na-recover. So merong system loss na 2 pesos. Tama? Ganun na nangyayari eh. Bakit natin? Yung 2 pesos na yun, ito yung system loss na pinag-aawayan na natin since time immemorial. Ngayon, kung halimbawa yung generation, yung Gen A, yung generation company, will consider na yung 2 pesos talaga nangyayari na sa maraming paraan loss yun, ang Meralco, hindi na siya kukolekta ng system loss. Ganito lang kasimple yun eh. May 2 pisong diferensya kasi yung bill 8 pesos lang. Yung sale, yung kanyang purchase is 10 pesos. Pero yung total bill niya, entire the captive market is only 8 pesos. Yung 2 pisong pinag-uusapan, Madam Chair, ito yung pinipilit natin kolektahin sa ating mga mamamayan na hindi po pwedeng mangyari yun. Salamat po.
Attorney Juan, can you continue with your presentation and then we'll go to Yusek Carlo?
On our position on the
Again,
pending
I'll
Senate
repeat,
bills.
no,
po.
although we included 14 bills, kasi a lot of them, all of them have some relation to the main issue, which is bakit ganun kataas yung electricity bill. So focus lang tayo doon because 2 hours is not enough to solve all these problems or to even get into the details. Pero to give everybody a chance again to speak, dun lang tayo quick points on those issues. What contributes? What do you think are the highlights of the problems? What can you highlight about these issues?
Yes po. Going now to slide 12, which will be my last slide. This is a summary of our position. As regards the support for consumer relief measures, kasama dito yung VAT exemption and removal of yung
Slide na nire-request ni,
Yes po.
ni Chairman.
yung slide
Who has
12 lang.
your,
Kasi I highlighted here yun pong exclusion of certain pass-through charges from the VAT coverage. So malaking bagay nga din po yan, especially kung kasama dyan yung system loss. Ang isa lang na po na nire-raise namin as an issue, ito pong implementation and collection of the VAT kasi medyo complicated yan. In fact, hanggang ngayon may mga unresolved issues pa. Yung treatment ng VAT, yung input and output, yung merong zero rated. So kung meron pa tayong additional na magiging bagong definition ng gross receipts to exclude yung system loss, so kailangan po matingnan, ma-operationalize doon sa generation how it will be implemented in terms of the VAT impact of that on the generators sa transmission at ganun din po sa distribution, including now the RES. So po pwede rin po kasi na mayroong magiging VAT issue pagdating sa retail supply. And then number 2, on the system loss cap reduction, this was also proposed. We support that, but let us just highlight that insofar as ERC's prevailing caps, naibaba na po natin yan from then levels of 12 to 14%. Ngayon, for the private distribution utilities, it has gone down to 5.5%. Comparable din siya dun sa mga ibang jurisdictions na that allow for disallowance ng system loss at 5.5. Hindi na po yan malayo dun sa norm. But as mentioned earlier, if this will be legislated na tanggalin na, so in effect zero cap na tayo, and that will of course force our distribution utilities to operate more efficiently and or to absorb yung cost na yan. And andanan natin, hindi naman tayo nag-iisip lang ng mga private distribution utilities like Meralco and the other private DUs na meron kaming isinasamang rate of return doon sa kanilang investment. We're talking also of electric cooperatives, hundreds of them, na talagang they operate purely on cash flow, at kung wala silang extra na puhunan or kapital na mailalabas pang-cover dyan sa gastos na yan, yung kanila namang serbisyo ang mag-suffer. And of course, pag nag-suffer yung serbisyo nila, pwedeng lalong tataas yung kanilang system loss, aggravate lang doon sa problema nila kung sila na ang sasalo nitong cost na ito associated with system losses.
quick question lang. Worldwide and in particular sa Asia, ano yung sinusundan na systems loss, ano yung systems loss sa kanilang, sa ibang mga bansa? Kasi yun naman yung benchmarking natin di ba? How is it handled in other countries?
I don't have
Okay, so can you get somebody who can give us that?
Yes,
Because me as a non-technical person, that is how I look at it. Sila, paano nila hinahandle yan, di ba? And then I want to point out dito sa presentation nyo na may sinabi din kayo na the ERC respectfully posits, andyan sa baba, ayan, everybody can read it, that the cost of upgrading distribution facilities or addressing pilferage to meet such lowered system loss caps should be weighed against the benefits, no? So medyo you passed on it. Mamaya we'll ask Nea to exemplify kasi alam ko na ang problema parati ng mga cooperatives natin puhunan nila. So it's like a vicious cycle. Hindi sila maka-upgrade kasi wala silang puhunan. So bulok-bulok na ng serbisyo, hindi pa ma-upgrade. So that's why ang dami nating bills na sinama dito dahil the problem, there's not just one bill that can solve this problem. There's not just one law that can solve this problem. How do we create that? The question is, how do you create that environment? Like you said, maging mas efficient sila. Diba? Or maybe pag grant pa lang ng franchise, siguraduhin naman natin na, and kami yun, nag-grant ng franchise na may puhunan talaga itong mga to para paandarin ng maayos. Anyway, I will stop there, no? Yusek Carlo, I will give you the floor. And then after, I might shift quickly to the private sector naman to give them at least a chance, some of them the opportunity to speak, and then balik-balik tayo. So we have two perspectives. Okay, go ahead, Yusek Carlo Adriano for DOF.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon,
And
everyone.
don't forget the question of Senator Ligarte.
Yes po. Just waiting for my slides to be uploaded. So, next slide. So the outline of, next slide please. The outline of my presentation as follows. One is, what are the components of our electricity bill? Second, why is our electricity price high in the Philippines? And third, what are the consequences of VAT exemption on electricity? Next slide, please. So what are the components of the electricity bill? Next slide. I think the Madam Chair already mentioned this. As mentioned, the largest share to the cost is the generation charge at 64%. It's followed by distribution at 12%, transmission at 8%, and then the 11% are the other charges, of which the share of VAT is around 7 to 9% of the total bill. So maliit po ang share ng VAT dun sa electricity price. Ang pinakamalaki, generation. And if you combine the generation, transmission, and then distribution, it's 84% of the electricity price. Next slide. Now, why is generation charge high in the Philippines? Next slide. So we researched several papers. So I will just mention papers of Ravago 2022, Tabada 2025, Navarro 2025, Francisco 2024, Francisco and Basilio 2024, and Clarete 2016. So first, why is it high? This is based on Tabada paper. It's basically barriers to entry. It's very hard for new players to enter the market. It requires around 100 to 300 plus permits. And it will take 5 to 10 years before you can actually operate sa generation po nito. And given this limits competition and electricity supply. Second po is yung policy-related costs. Some policies legislated through a law, while well-intentioned, can add to cost. Na-mention na po dito yung FIT, yung sa renewable energy, GEA, pinapasa rin po sa atin. Universal charge, pinapasa po sa consumer. Senior citizen, basically, pinapasa din niya sa consumer. Real property tax, etc. Lahat po to legislated by law. Next slide will be the market concentration. Ito po yung monopolistic or oligopolistic structure of the energy market. So in fact, in Luzon, 7 firms control 50% of the supply. In Visayas, 2 control 35%, and in Mindanao, 3 control 43% of the market. And this weakened competition make it more difficult for prices to go down in a deregulated market. The fourth one is inefficient contracts. So sa mga kontrata po, there is what we call take or pay contract. So kapag sobra-sobra po yung supply ng electricity, even if it's not used, we actually pay for it. And one example mentioned by Ravago in 2022, an example nung Malampaya 2021. Ang nangyari po noon, we anticipated thin supply. And hence, we purchase inputs na mahal so that we will have enough supply. But unfortunately, hindi po nangyari yung thin supply, and hence, pinasa po lahat ng mahal na inputs sa consumers po na to because of this take or pay contracts. Next slide. The fifth is limited power grid. Transmission constraints limit the efficient movement of electricity. Even when cheaper power is available in one area, it may not reach other regions due to grid limitations. As a result, consumers may rely on more expensive local supply. The sixth one is the system cost. This is basically the generation cost na mahal po talaga. And the last one that I would like to highlight is the paper of Clarete in 2016. He estimated the cost of ease of doing business versus removing VAT. What he estimated is that because of the ease of doing business wherein it will take you 5 to 10 years before you can actually operate, it functions like a 12% tax on the investor. And take note, wala pong revenue tayo nakuha dito. Kasi po natetenga yung project for 10 years, it functions like a 12% tax. Now, he compared that if you remove VAT, it will only lower by around 4%. And take note, when we impose VAT, we collect revenues that we can use for government projects. So he concluded that it's actually more efficient to remove to to improve the ease of doing business rather than removing VAT. The next slide is, what is the VAT treatment of electricity by our ASEAN neighbors? Ito po yung benchmarking natin dito. So out of all the ASEAN member states, lahat po nag-impose ng VAT except only Brunei. So hindi po sa atin unique ang nag-impose ng VAT sa electricity. And we take note that VAT is an ad valorem tax. Ang ibig sabihin ng ad valorem tax, it is based on the value or price of the electricity. So kung mataas po ang base price ng electricity sa atin, edi mataas din po yung VAT. But if the base price of electricity is low, then mababa din po yung VAT, tulad po sa ibang ASEAN neighbors natin that also impose VAT on electricity. Next slide. So I will now discuss what are the consequences of VAT exemption on electricity. These are the unintended consequences. So we know there will be revenue losses, but what are the unintended consequences of exempting VAT, including po yung systems loss? So this illustrates po yung generation. So electricity is consumed by final consumers. Ito po yung first scenario. So you have the whole electricity chain, and then ang final demand mo is with household. So we have the generation, transmission, and distribution. For each chain, meron po yung mga inputs, mga poste, capital, labor, rent, etc., etc. And those inputs are subject to VAT. Now, kapag exempt po yung electricity, ibig sabihin po nun, hindi po sila makakapag-claim ng input VAT. So ano po mangyayari dun sa tinatawag naming unrecoverable input VAT? It will now form part of the electricity price. Ipapasa lang po yan sa consumers. And hence, ang ano po namin, ang result po nito for the household level, it can be lower, no change, or higher prices. Why? Because of that unrecoverable input VAT that will now form part of the price and the current structure of the market na monopoly and oligopolistic. Wala po masyadong competition, so kapag tinanggal mo po yung VAT, it can be just be part of their new markup. The next scenario is, what if the electricity is used as an intermediate input by businesses? Ito po yung mas malala. Ito po yung unintended consequences po talaga. So again, we have manufacturer 1 here. So again, lahat po ng kanyang input is subject to VAT. And yung output niya po is also subject to VAT. Now, as I mentioned earlier, for electricity na input niya, meron po doon na unrecoverable VAT na ipapasa sa kanya. So, kasama po siya ng presyo na. And yung presyo po na yun will be subject to VAT because he cannot claim input VAT on electricity. Kaya po ang mangyayari kay manufacturer 1 pa lang, tataas na po ang kanyang business cost operation. Now, we have, the next chain is logistics. Ganun din po yung storya. May embedded input VAT po na pinasa sa kanya sa electricity and will also be part of the computation of VAT. Hence, ito po yung tinatawag natin na cascading tax na mangyayari po for the final consumer, higher prices for all goods and services that use electricity as an intermediate input. Yun po ang ibig sabihin nito. This is consistent with the study made by World Bank and IMF na ito po yung unintended consequences when you exempt an intermediate input. The next slide po, malapit na po ako matapos, sorry po, is the system, the beneficiaries. So kapag in-exempt po natin yung VAT, yung highest 10% household will capture the largest share of around 34.7 billion in saving. This is assuming complete price pass-through. On the other hand, yung lowest 30 households or the bottom 30th will only gain a tax saving of a maximum of 16.3. Bakit po maximum? It's because some of them are covered by the lifeline rate subsidies. So yun po ang ibig sabihin nan. So who will benefit the most? Definitely the highest income decile. As you can see, it's 34.7, the highest decile versus the lowest 30th decile na 16.3, double than the lowest 30th. The next slide is, can we afford losing revenues from removal of VAT electricity? Next slide. So in the DOF, for this year, we're basically financing 6.8 trillion of our budget this year. So that means in expenditure, that's 18.6 billion every day, financed by revenues at 13.65 billion every day, and through loans at 4.96 billion. Now, if we reduce our revenue collection because of VAT exemption, that would mean incurring more debt and would make our debt or deficit or our borrowings more costly, which ultimately be paid by the future Filipino generation. It's like maxing out your credit card. The next slide is how much is the revenue loss? It's ranging from 84 to 106.5 billion a year. So more or less average 91 billion a year if VAT exempt. For systems loss is 6.1 to 8.4 billion a year. Next slide. So what is 100 billion look like? So we take note that the 4Ps, its current budget is around 100 billion. So kapag nawala po yung 100 billion, it can mean 4.4 million 4Ps beneficiaries unserved. That 100 million is also 28,720 classrooms for 1.1 to 1.4 million students. It's 5.2 million students for 100 SUCs and 40 regional hospitals that can serve 10 million patients annually. Yun po ang katapat ng 100 billion pesos po na mawawala sa atin. Now, the next slide will be on the systems loss. We take note, Madam Chair, I think this is one of your requests to ERC that Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia also impose a systems loss. Ang pinagkaiba po sa Pilipinas, through the ITIRA law, naka-disaggregate po yung systems law sa ating receipt, sa ating kuryente na bill. Yun po yung pinagkaiba. So it's not unique to us. I would like to note also, Madam Chair, if we remove the systems loss, assuming that this generation companies will maintain the same level of ROI or return on investment, that would mean higher prices lang din po for electricity. Yun lang po mangyayari nun. Next slide. In the next slide, so ito po yung mga admin problem if we exempt VAT on electricity. One is it weakens the self-enforcing nature of VAT. Kasi po to be able to claim input VAT, nanghihingi ka po ng resibo eh. So it's like a self-enforcing thing po for the businesses so that there's an incentive to actually issue receipts because you can claim your input if you have an output. At the same time, again, ito po yung mga admin cost lang which I will not discuss anymore. And then finally, the last slide, there was a study made by NEDA in 2015 on the impact of VAT exemption on electricity to the economy. And they found that the net impact, which is a net cost, is a 0.52 percentage point reduction in real GDP. That's the last slide of my presentation, ma'am. Madam Chair, on the question of Senator Loren, unfortunately po, the systems loss is part of the gross receipts. So if it's part of the gross receipts, it's subject to VAT, subject to Section 108 of the tax of the NIRC.
Madam Chair, I note that in 2024, please DOF confirm this, the Bureau of Internal Revenue had already stopped collecting the VAT on UCME. When previously it was collecting, just like systems loss now, and sinasabi po nila na hindi kaya, pero sumunod, 2024. Just kindly correct the information if this is accurate. Thank you.
Good afternoon po, Senator. Yes po, because of RMC 116/2024, the universal charge was exempted for the payment of VAT because it's already a government mandated charges. So therefore, because the universal charges was remitted to the PISAM, which the PISAM will be the one to distribute the universal charges.
Ibig ko lang sabihin, Madam Chair, pag gugustuhin, kayang ibaba ang kuryente at no cost to the consumers. Ginawa na yan ng BIR sa UCME. Tapos, I just take note on the example raised by the DOF. Pag tanggalin ang VAT o ibaba ang VAT, mawawala ng subsidy ang SUC. Hindi po apples and apples. It's a general pool in our GAA. So, for those who do not understand the budget, and that's not those in the room, those who are watching, ganun ba? Huwag natin i-mislead. Sasabihin natin, ehemplo ito. Pwede mo rin sabihin, kung maging systematic, efficient, at bawasan o tanggalin ang katiwalian, korupsyon, ay kaya natin na walang epekto sa taong bayan. Huwag niyo sabihin, pag walang VAT, walang SUC. Pag walang VAT, walang tulong sa DOH. Hindi naman naka-earmark ang VAT para sa edukasyon at para sa kalusugan eh. Iklaro natin ganun. Kasi yung example nyo, hinanpick nyo yung maintindihan ng tao. 6 billion. Magkano ba yung ninanakaw sa gobyerno or nawawala sa inefficiency? Okay, so I just wanted that pointed out. You don't have to answer because I'm sure my statement is accurate because that is not earmarked for education and for health. Thank you.
Madam Chair, initial reaction lang sa presentation ng DOF. Kasi kanina sinabi mo yung mga figures ng ASEAN. Pero alam mo ba na ang per kilowatt hour ng electricity sa Indonesia is 91 US cents. Sa Malaysia, 50 US cents. Sa Thailand, 12 or 13 cents US. Sa Pilipinas, 29 cents. 21 cents. So, ibig sabihin, tayo pa rin ang pinakamataas. Tama. Okay. Sa Indonesia, sinasubsidize nila ang electricity. Ang subsidy nila is 11.1 billion pesos. Sa Malaysia, 2.8 billion pesos. Sa Thailand, 1.8 billion pesos. Sa Pilipinas, magkano? Can you tell us? It's practically zero. Tama. So, do not begin by comparing with this. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan natin, tayo pa rin ang pinakamataas ang elektrisidad dito sa Asia. And that runs counter to the very objective of EPIRA. Hindi ba ang sabi ng EPIRA? Section 2, the Declaration of Objectives. Ano sabi? To ensure the delivery of equitable, secure, quality, reliable, and affordable rates of electricity. How do you counter the law's primary objective of giving out to the consumers affordable rates of electricity? Kung titignan mo po subsection F, ano sinasabi ron? Kasi kailangan nating maging competitive in the world market. Kailangan ng business, sabi niya. You draw your attention to the section 2 of EPIRA. Paano magiging competitive ang presyo mo? Bakit sinasabi mo yung negative impact ng alisin ng VAT, blah, blah, blah. Doon ka nagko-concentrate lang Madam Chair. Did you ever compute or make a simulation as to, for example, nung bumaba yung VAT na electricity? How much will that be on the production cost of every business in this country? Have you resorted just to a crude simulation?
Mr. Chair,
Meron na kayo?
on that wala pa po, but
Yeah,
kasama
that
po
is
sa-
the whole problem because you present to us only one side of the issue. What if I tell you na kahit na hindi ako economist na katulad mo, I am in a position to present to you a simulation? Kasi dapat yun ang tingnan ninyo. How much it is for the business sector. Imagine mo, for example, a company which production cost is something like 50% or 60%. Halimbawa, Madam Chair, yung gumagawa ng yelo, ang production cost niya is 70%. Sabihin mo sa kanya, ibababa na alisin natin ng 12% VAT. Gaano Madam Chair, ang iikot ng ekonomiya mo. Wala kayong simulation dati. Tingnan mo ang nangyari, Madam Chair. First quarter growth ng ating bansa is 2.8%. This is the lowest in the entire history of this country. Ni hindi nyo napapagalaw kung ano, paano gagalaw ang economic engine. Kaya tayo nag-iisip lahat sana ng paraan eh. You have not even do any simulation. Ilang beses kayang iikot ang ekonomiya natin? Baka anong malay mo? Yung 2.8% natin dapat siguro 8.2% yun eh. Baka for the first time, Madam Chair, ang growth natin is 10% per annum na hindi pa natin nagagawa sa buong buhay natin. Because ang laki yata ng kaugnayan ng taksa. I made an initial simulation, the relationship of taxes to the gross value added. And the relation of taxes, meron siyang direct correlation with export pa. I'm not finished with my simulation, but initially, kailangan nating mag-experiment eh. At saka yung mawawala sa atin, ang estimate ko is about 150 billion pesos. Saan natin kukunin? I have ways to do this. In proper time, I will show you how. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do you want to respond?
Madam Chair, on the effect of the VAT exemption to businesses, it was mentioned in slide 13, it will actually make their operational costs higher because one, they are unrecoverable input VAT that will now form part of the electricity price. Na dun sa businesses, since wala nga pong input yung electricity, they cannot claim input VAT to the electricity nila po mismo. Yun,
Present your simulation. I'll present mine also in proper time.
sige po. And this is consistent po with the study of IMF and World Bank.
At
On-
least yung on that basic thing that you're saying, naintindihan ko yun. Any businessman will understand that. Pag hindi mo mababawi yung input and output, ikaw gagastos nun. So yung mga, kunyari, ito na lang example. Pagka yung nag-import ka ng, ano tawag doon? Nag-import ka, hindi ka nagbayad ng VAT mo doon. Maraming ganon, di ba? Yung, ano tawag doon? Yung import, yung import, ano tawag doon? Smuggled. You smuggle it. So wala ka. So later on, pagbenta mo, wala kang counterpart na input VAT na mababawi. I think that's what you're saying. No, you're not disagreeing with the senator, but you're just pointing out that that's basic in the way the input and output VAT works. Most businessmen understand that kasi they'll say na, nako, wala tayong input dyan. Makabili kami sa mura, may mag-o-offer sila ng murang materials, no? Murang raw materials, pero ano yun, under the table or smuggled, so wala kang input VAT na mababawi later on. Anyway, let's leave it. Mahaba at madugo itong diskusyon na ito, no? Yes. Okay.
Just one time.
Go ahead, and then
Yes,
we have
thank you.
people that have to speak.
In line with what you said, mahirap talaga yung input-output. What is the effect of just zero rating instead of exempting? Binanggit ni Madam Chair, yung iba nga. So, i-zero rate natin ang systems loss o di hindi kayo mahirapan sa input-output?
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
for the revenue, it will be higher. It's around 158 billion per year. For the businesses, it will be neutral. Wala pong impact sa cost of businesses nila yon. Kasi nga po, since wala nang output and then wala din namang input, so cost neutral po yan for businesses, yung ano po, yung VAT zero rating for businesses.
For the
For
consumers,
consumers, assuming po na
Okay.
complete price pass-through, pwede pong bumaba.
walang epekto sa business, anong pwedeng bumaba? Siyempre, bababa pag magtatanggal ka ng buwis. Oo, bababa. Mas iba konti. Bababa, tas wala naman epekto sa business, so pwedeng zero rated, di ba? At saka, yun nga yung puntos eh. Nagtatanggal na kayo ng VAT sa UCME eh. So yung, dadagdagan ko, yung lifeline, yung senior citizens na vina-VAT ninyo, pwede naman tanggalin kasi it's the same principle as UCME. Pero sabi nga ni Chair, o sige, mag-present sa iba, yun ang puntos ko, pwede. Ginawa ng BIR ng 2024. Thank you. krisis talaga, maski counting bawas lang, malaking bagay. At ginawa na nga ng BIR ng 2024. So ang UC at Lifeline at Senior Citizens pati Systems Laws, similar in principle. That's just my point.